Monza. September 2025, a single radio call turned McLaren's Italian Grand Prix into a cauldron of controversy. What began as a tactical play spiraled into a drama that has Formula One buzzing, with Oscar Piastri's quiet fury and Lando Norris' raw honesty exposing the fragile trust within a championship contending team. The Italian Grand Prix unfolded under Monza's blazing September sun, with McLaren locked in a high-stakes chess match. Lando Norris clung to second place, chasing Red Bull's Max Verstappen, while Oscar Piastri shadowed him in third. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, fueled by the Tifosi, loomed as a threat. McLaren's plan was surgical, a late double-stack pit stop to fend off Leclerc, with Piastri pitting first to cover the Ferrari, followed by Norris. Over the radio, strategist Will Joseph was clear to Norris, no undercut. Positions stay as they are. Norris, methodical as ever, sought confirmation. "You sure?" he asked. Joseph's reply was firm, locked in. Piastri's pit stop was a masterstroke, 1.9 seconds of seamless precision. Norris followed, but chaos struck. A jammed front left wheel nut cost him for seconds, a lifetime in F1. He rejoined behind Piastri. The order flipped. In the brutal arithmetic of racing, this was fair. Pit stops are as unpredictable as a late rain shower or a rival's DRS. But McLaren's pre-race pact was ironclad, no position swaps. What happened next turned a routine stop into a flashpoint that could define their season. As the race roared on, race engineer Tom Stallard's voice pierced Piastri's cockpit. "Oscar, give the position back to Lando." The words landed like a gut punch. Piastri's response was razor sharp, his Australian drawl dripping with disbelief. "We had a deal. Slow stops are part of the game. What's changed?" The frustration was raw. He'd driven a flawless race, his crew had delivered a textbook stop, and now he was being asked to hand over a podium spot because of a mechanical blunder. He didn't cause at 24. With a championship lead to protect, Piastri could have rebelled. Instead, he complied, letting Norris slip past. The move showcased his maturity, a young driver swallowing bitter pride for the team's bigger picture. But compliance didn't mean acceptance. In the parc firm, his eyes told the story, calm on the surface, seething beneath. "I did everything right," he said later, his voice steady but pointed. "It's tough to lose a position when you've executed perfectly. That's not how racing should work." The wound was fresh, and it wasn't healing fast. Team principal Andrea Stella faced the media storm head-on, his Italian accent measured but resolute. "This was about integrity," he said. "The pit strategy wasn't about favoring one driver, it was about maximizing McLaren's points against Ferrari's home turf surge." The pre-race agreement was explicit. Pit sequencing wouldn't alter track positions. When Norris' slow stop flipped the order, restoring him to second was, in Stella's words, "the fair call." He added, "We promised Lando no undercut. We had to honor that, even after bad luck. Then we let them race." The Monza fallout drew heavyweights into the fray. Mark Webber, Piastri's mentor and a veteran of Red Bull's cutthroat 2010 battles, didn't hold back. "I've lived this story," he said on a podcast, his voice thick with experience. "When a team starts rewriting rules mid-race, it's a warning sign. Oscar drove a perfect race. He shouldn't be punished for a pit crew's mistake." Webber's not just a guide, he's a survivor of F1's political wars. And his words carried weight beyond Australian pride. "This isn't about bias yet," he added, "but it's a moment to watch." Damon Hill, the 1996 world champion, fanned the flames with a nod to history. On his Sky F1 podcast, he recounted a 1993 team orders saga, drawing parallels to McLaren's dilemma. "Fans don't take kindly to this," he said, launching a poll on X that lit up the platform. The results: a staggering 78% of 23,000 respondents called McLaren's decision unfair. The poll, posted September 8, 2025, wasn't just data, it was a pulse of a fanbase torn between respect for McLaren's transparency and outrage at Piastri's robbed moment. The standings add fuel to the fire. Piastri left Monza with a 31-point lead over Norris, 8 races remaining in 2025. It's a healthy cushion, but the gap's closing. Norris, still chasing his first driver's title, gained ground. And the psychological toll of Monza can't be overstated. Dropping 3 points after a flawless drive doesn't just dent the leaderboard. It gnaws at a driver's psyche. Piastri's post-race poise, calm yet steely, hinted at his resolve. But the question lingers, can he trust McLaren to keep it fair? Norris moved to quell the tension. "This isn't me versus Oscar," he said in a September 9th press conference, his voice raw with emotion. I respect him and I respect the team's call. I want to win races my way, not because of a slow stop. His honesty clashed with Piastri's restraint, highlighting their contrasting styles. Norris wears his passion openly. Piastri's intensity simmers beneath a cool exterior. Both are fast enough to outshine the other on any Sunday, making McLaren's task keeping them aligned a high-wire act. Piastri's not just racing for points, he's carrying a nation's legacy. At 24, he's tied Mark Webber's 9 Grand Prix wins and surpassed Daniel Ricciardo's 8. He's closing in on Australian icons like Alan Jones and Jack Brabham. Beyond that, he's chasing a historic milestone, the first non-European world champion since Jacques Villeneuve. In 1997, that weight turns every team order into a national talking point. A September call carries more gravity than an April skirmish. It's a chapter in a story that could redefine Australian motorsport. Monza exposed a core tension. Racing rewards execution and embraces chaos, while team management prizes promises and sidesteps risk. Elite teams weave both into a language their drivers trust. McLaren insists that's their blueprint. Stella's defense hinges on fairness. Norris was promised P2, and the team had to deliver, even if it meant overriding Piastri's gain. But from Piastri's seat, it looked like a robbery. His stop was a triumph. Undoing it felt like a slap. The fix isn't platitudes, it's a pre-race policy, etched in stone and shared with both drivers. If McLaren had that at Monza, their stance would stand tall. If it was vague or reactive, the blame's theirs. Stella's promised a deep dive, vowing to align Piastri and Norris on clear rules. We'll review pit sequencing, slow stops, everything, he said. Both drivers need to know the system's impartial. The next chapter's already in motion. Piastri will keep his head down, stack points, and let his speed speak. Norris will brush off Monza's noise, channel his hunger, and chase his breakthrough. McLaren will dissect the weekend, call it a process tweak, and gear up for Qatar's dessert crucible. The Losail circuit, with its high-speed sweeps and abrasive tarmac, demands flawless execution. A clean race could bury Monza's ghosts. Another slip could reignite the blaze. Monza wasn't just about 3 points, it was a stress test of McLaren's culture. Titles aren't won on pace alone. They're won on unity. Piastri's loyalty shone through his compliance, but his doubt lingers. Norris' candor keeps the garage from splitting, but his patience isn't infinite. Webber's vigilance and Hill's poles signal a restless fanbase. The next 8 races will decide whether McLaren soars or stumbles. The solution's brutal but clear. Codify the rules, share them pre-race, and enforce them without favor. If McLaren pulls it off, their resolve will shine. If they falter, Monza's shadow will stretch to Abu Dhabi. Every pit stop, every radio call, every promise carries the championship's weight. McLaren's got to aces Piastri's precision. Norris fire and a shot at their first constructors' title since 1998. The question is whether they can keep the faith. As the 2025 season rockets toward its climax, McLaren's on a knife edge. Piastri's chasing history, Norris is hunting glory, and the team's fighting for a crown. Monza lay bare the stakes, but it also proved the strength of a squad with 2 drivers who can win anywhere. Qatar's next, and the drama's far from over. Want to catch every twist, every turn, every heart-stopping radio call? Smash that subscribe button and buckle up for McLaren's championship charge.